in South Louisiana, we are used to really bad weather. We've all at least experienced one hurricane. Many of us have experienced catastrophic flooding. We know what that sort of storm is like. And in many ways, we also then know that you can't rebuild while winds are blowing outside or there are floodwaters there. You don't do that then. You shelter in place. You take care of yourself. You take care of your family and try to weather that. And it sounds cheesy, but that's what we're doing now. We're weathering this as a storm. We can't expect ourselves to fix everything now when we haven't really known yet the full extent of what this pandemic means for us in a global sense and also in an immediate sense in our homes and our families. What that means for our kids in school, what that means for our paycheck, or if we don't have a job, what that means to find a new job. The goal right now is not to try to push through and be resilient right now. The goal is not that we have to try to force ourselves into some level of growth right now. The goal is to take care of ourselves and be mindful about what we're doing and to look out for the people that are around us. There's a quote that's kind of going around social media right now about Mr. Rogers and one of the stories he used to tell about his mom, that when things feel really tumultuous and chaotic around us, to look for the helpers, look for the people that are trying to make the most change. And there are lots of those right now. We deeply applaud all of our first responders, the people that are in the hospitals taking care of us, whether we have the COVID-19 or not, and making sure that we stay healthy. But there are lots of people trying to make this all work. There are truck drivers, there are healthcare administrators, there are people who are trying to protect our payroll, that we actually have a paycheck at home. So there are lots of people who are doing those things and working as hard as they can. We need to look for them. We need to take care of them as much as we can, as much as we need to take care of ourselves. And there's a lot of research about if we help others, if we can try to reach out to others, that helps us heal just as much. That helps us deal with that anxiety. It helps us control our stress because it gives us something that is tangible, something that we can do with our time and our energy that feels really, really uncertain right now. It's also important to remember that feelings are not facts, that we have a lot of feelings right now. We have a lot of fear right now. And just because we're feeling overwhelmed doesn't necessarily mean that we are, that we have a lot of resilience. We have a lot of ability to sustain adversity. But to do that right now, what we need to do is focus on how we take care of ourselves in the immediate moment. The simplest things are the most important ones. Things like setting a good routine, and it doesn't have to be strict. It can simply be trying to wake up or go to bed at similar times of the day. When you wake up in the morning, to make sure that you open the blinds, you open the windows, you get sunlight, you get fresh air, and help reset your own circadian rhythm so that you can have some sense of normalcy day to day. We do that for our patients when they're in the hospital. We try to make sure that they know what is morning and what is night. We should make sure that they get sunlight when they need to. And those things seem so simple. They seem like they shouldn't be enough, but they are. Things like getting enough sleep at night, even though you want to stay awake and watch Netflix or scroll through social media, they can be good because they help distract us or they help us feel connected to other people. But they can also be really overwhelming, and they can bring on new stressors. So we need to make sure we get enough sleep and rest, because sleep is the thing that is going to reset us. It's the thing that helps preserve our ability to handle the next day's stress even better. And right now we know that there is a lot of stress and it's going to keep coming for a while. One of the other things is that right now things feel harder when we're 3 weeks into a stay-at-home order. It feels like we should have gotten into new normal, or that we should get used to this after a while. But the truth is, over the last few weeks, we've all accrued anxiety, we've accrued stress, we are in various stages of grief. And just because we've had that experience and this is supposed to feel like we understand it a little bit better now, doesn't mean that we always do. That fear makes us think and do things that aren't necessarily typical of us, and so we need to be very gentle with ourselves. That sometimes living through that emotion is the very best thing that we can do. That you have to let yourself feel the fear or feel the sadness. We have a lot of recommendations about self-care and being really active and making this time somehow productive in some way. And if that's the way that you need to cope, then do it. But at the same time, don't add more of a burden to yourself that you have to use this time to be productive. That it can also be time that you use to recenter yourself. That focusing on breathing is way more important than it ever was before. That making sure you move your body. It doesn't have to be that you take on some new huge exercise routine, but that you're actually just moving, that you're getting up, that you're taking your body outside and walking around your house, or if you have to be at work, that you're getting up from your desk and you're moving and you're standing and you're stretching and making sure that you feel grounded in that way. Those are the types of things that are going to keep us as healthy as we can right now, so that we can sustain this type of fear and stress in the long term, and to get through it with as much of our mental faculties intact as we need.